All right, so let's talk about this computer. This computer was brought in because while its owner was moving around in their own house, they dropped it and things went everywhere. And basically I'm at a point where I'm trying to figure out whether or not I'm going to need to replace the case, but regardless, I need to get the computer back up and running. So I mean, you can see right where it landed. They got very, very lucky that that didn't completely and utterly explode into a million pieces. So at this point, I told them I'm not putting the side panel back on, just because I don't want to have it, you know, shoot off. But I mean, you can really see, like here, I'll spin this. Look at that. You can see where it landed right there. Let's spin this one. Same way.
Hey, thanks for checking out this video. If you like these videos, make sure you hit the like button. If you want to see more videos like this, hit the subscribe button. It really, really helps the channel.
Yeah, like look at this. I will. It's not the grommet it goes into that's messed up. It's this. But like every single one of these grommets is exactly the same way. So I'm gonna take everything out. We're gonna look at everything. We're gonna look everything over and figure out what all is gonna need to be replaced, if anything needs to be replaced. And you can see, like, this video card is actually not in the slot on the motherboard. It looks like it is, but it is definitely not. That, you can see the PCI pins just sticking there. Cooler completely popped off. I have it here, so we're going to tear this thing down. Let's start by removing the video card. Like, yeah, they got lucky with some stuff. Other stuff we'll see, because that cooler. That's a standoff. There was a standoff on the back of this because it was stripped. So there's a standoff. Remember that this is just going to fall out. Overall, thankfully, this looks pretty straight. I was concerned that was going to have a bow to it. It does not. These cables are. This is an MSI pre-built. There's now thermal paste everywhere, and I can't remove these cables. Let's get this cable out. Let's look at this from the back. Oh, it fell off. It said the backer plate right here was sitting right here when they brought it in. I need to figure out what this cable is. It doesn't come back here. This cable goes behind the motherboard. What did you do, MSI? What is this? What is this? Okay, I guess I can't. To remove the CPU cooler, I have to remove the motherboard. How is that? How is that a thing? Yeah, there's nowhere where this cable comes out on the back. Get everything out. Thankfully, my plan for this the whole time was to completely tear this thing down. I need to make sure that the back isn't warped and it's not making contact. If the back isn't warped, they can still use the case. This is an old Corsair case. I think this is one of the Corsair cases that MSI contracted from Corsair. If not, it looks strangely suspicious. Very similar. Interesting. There's one way to do that. It was there, and now it goes to the back. The wire, there were choices made here, like 100%. There were choices made to figure out where whatever that was just went. It's this, goes to this, which means now I can remove that. Oh, this thing has 2 mechanical hard drives in it. That's going to be fun. 8-pin power connectors were halfway in. We'll figure that out. Unplug that. look at this in a second. Some stuff falling out. Something definitely took a break. Not sure what that is though. It's white glass. Interesting. Just unplugging the power right now. There's one hard drive. There's another hard drive. All right. What kind of shape we're in here? There's a little, like, it's hard to see, but this is actually a little bit proud. The whole back of this thing is curved. It's curved like that. It's strangely hard to see on camera. I don't know, I think this is gonna be fine. This is bent. All right, let's look at this. Overall, everything looks fine on the back of this. Okay. That's still surprisingly stable. Everything looks fine there. Let's elevate this thing so it's just setting it on the deck. Yeah, I'm pretty sure the GPU is actually going to be fine. I'm more concerned with the CPU pump. 1080 Ti. Yeah, hopefully this bracket will thread in. See, another concern is that man, what the hell? Oh. Alright, so before we can do that, we're going to have to try and get this off of here. This is an interesting way to do this cooler. By the way, we're going to need to do new thermal paste on this. Alright, so we got that off. Let's, for the time being, let's remove that. We're going to also put back on the clip. The clip shot off for that as well. Alright. Let's see how well these things actually thread into here. Yeah, it's also a very strange cooler. This one is just difficult to get in because of all of the VRM cooling. This is a terrible design. An absolutely, like, atrocious design for this. Alright, so that's back on there. These look fine. We're going to temporarily get out of here. Slot that on there. We need to make sure we have all these boys on here. This is, whew! Glad someone else came up with a better design for this. Maybe it's whatever MSI uses, so if it's EK, it's EK. What we're going to do is we're going to use his hardware here that I'm reattaching right now to go through and actually test his hard drives that were definitely in the computer. That's fine that it's a lot of work, being thorough with it. We want to verify everything is working. We don't want anything overheating. Is this an EK all-in-one? This thing just looks like it just looks rebranded. That is just for RGB. This is not, and this is not. This is the CPU fan. It's going to go there. CPU fan is going to plug into this. This is the actual fan for this. Why is this cable so? Why is this cable a knot? That's my question. And why is there blue tape? Not plugged in. 8-pin plugged in here. Let's grab our thick boy GPU. I think I'm going to put a standoff. I'm going to put like the last one of these like right here in the center. Now, we grab HDMI, USB, that, power. See what happens. All right, we got RGB. So right now we are on DRAM. I just realized one of the RAM latches is completely missing. So memory, all the pins look fine. Try to reseat the memory. Hey, look at that. We actually have what you can't see. We have a little 7-segment display. More than likely, this memory. More than likely, there's a problem with his memory. Getting the same thing. Let's get that out. Yeah, this isn't good. So basically what's happening is we're bouncing back and forth. So we're bouncing back and forth between, this is CPU and then DRAM. So it's going CPU, DRAM, CPU, DRAM, CPU, DRAM. Oh. See if I remove the RAM entirely. Now it's just staying there. And it's giving me an actual EO error. So, I guess we need to figure out what CPU this is and see if it's a CPU problem. See if I have a spare one. You know what I didn't think about? I wonder if this kid took this CPU out after the drop. Oh, such a great design on this. It really is. Like, we just lost a spring somewhere. Somewhere under the VRM cooler. Alright, we should do a, like, taking bets and see what are the odds that there's bent pins. Alright, here we go. Yeah. There's bent pins. Maybe they're not important bent pins, but there is bent pins nonetheless. It's just the way the light's reflecting. There's only one bent pin and it's right here. So that guy right there. Yeah, I think it's just the way that the light is reflecting. But yeah, like I said, there is a single bent pin. Let's see here if I can. Oh, that actually works out quite nicely. So you can see it's that one right there. So at the very least, this thing's probably going to need a new motherboard. Because I'm not about to do full-on socket repair on this thing. What I just did might actually be good enough to get this at least semi into the position it needs to get to. Because it just needs to get down like just a little bit. Everything else looks fine. What isn't looking fine is the thermal paste on this. So let's get that off. I'm just using a gentle brush to agitate the thermal paste. And then we're going to just gently, very gently, get all of the rubbing alcohol off of there. See if we get a different result. If not, and we're just going straight motherboard. I know the CPU cooler isn't on there. Just gonna set this on there. Same thing. Bouncing back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Verify it's not the memory. Might just grab a stick of DDR4 from my stash here. Same thing. Try a different RAM slot, he says. Maybe that's what it is then. It's that slot is effed. Let's just try this last one. Yeah, this first slot is missing a tab. Alright, so that was phase 1 of that. Alright, phase 2. i7 7700K. Let's see what I got. Really should categorize these things and like make a list so I can just quickly reference what I have. I have an i7 7700K. So that's a 4.2, this is a 3.6. So it's a different processor. But should be good enough for our purposes to determine whether it's the motherboard or it's the CPU. I'm starting to lean more and more towards this. It's a motherboard problem. Yeah, so we're leaning motherboard. All right, next step. Remove this entirely. I mean, it's not actually attached to anything. All right. So next we're gonna check to see if it's something with the video card. Nope, same thing. So we're at a point where we are going to be replacing a motherboard. I'll look around at it, see if I can find what exactly happened here. Let's take a peek with the thermal. See if anything's getting hot for any reason. All right, so got a lot of reflectivity here. Not seeing anything getting super heated. Let's get this unplugged. Let's flip this board over and take a look at the other side of the board. Well, the thing is, even if it, let's say theoretically it doesn't have an iGPU, I'm still getting the same error. So just having this plugged in isn't generating any hotspots. Let's turn this on. That's a hotspot. Got a bunch of hotspots, but I don't think any of these are out of the norm per se. I guess I need to check this for a short. All right, let's see with some thermal paste on there if I'm getting any temperature. It doesn't look like the CPU is heating up at all. It is not. So that's getting pretty hot though. Oh, we may have power flowing through this board, but something else is 100% going on. Because like you can see, nothing in the center here is getting hot at all. So this will be a mystery for... Yeah, there's no temperature in that whatsoever. I guess I'm going to need to go over this board with a fine-tooth comb and see if I see any problems. And that's why you got to be real careful when you move a computer like this. Like, just because you have the ability to move it doesn't necessarily mean that you should. Let's check this. I'm wondering if something got hit around here. Should be all fine. So what I really need to be looking, like keeping an eye out for, is just something just that's either knocked off or missing. Doesn't look like anything on this side per se. I think this actually is a short. Yeah, let me take this off. I think there's a short right there. But again, this is kind of a fishing expedition, and if there is a short there, could be nothing. The reason that I'm thinking we have a short here for some reason... Oh, found it. I found it. Found our problem. And I'm not sure if it's going to be fixable. Right there. Still doesn't explain why there's a short over here. Yeah, this is going to be... So there's a short on that, which maybe there's supposed to be. Like, it's one of those things when you're looking at motherboards like this where you can't just make an assumption based on just quick, like, hey, that's a short, that's a short. The other thing that I think might be shorted is that. Because what the hell is that? So we'll clean that off. We will... It is definitely connected on one side. This is as close as I can get with this microscope without whipping out the big one. So it's definitely connected on one side, definitely not connected on the other side. But it looks like I might be able to just put some heat into that. Problem is I'm seeing copper underneath that. Might just be the coating, you're right. So here's what my strategy for this is going to be. We are going to Just gonna put it back down, and then we're gonna hit this side with an iron and see if that. This side is so perilous. And then after that, I will use some of the epoxy to, or not the epoxy, the UV resin that I have on there, and then do that. But that is interesting that we found it. Like I said, I'm still curious about down here, because maybe it's just thermal paste. Maybe it's just thermal paste. Maybe that's all it is. And you know, just agitating it a little bit will get it off of there. Yeah, that looks like a burn, doesn't it? And that is not thermal paste. What is this? Yeah, this looks. It doesn't look burned. All right. I'll take a look. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was just thermal paste. That looks much better.
The next day.
So it is right there. There's what we're gonna do. We're gonna grab a little bit of flux, put it on there. We are going to pencil soldering iron here. And we're just going to hit that one side. See if that, hopefully, will be enough to get it back into place. So, here's what we're going to do. Going to come in. And do that. All right, that's on there. So here's the other part. What I have to do is the other side of this, now that it's on there, was partially ripped off of the board. So I need to just put a little bit of solder mask on that other side. So that's what we're going to do next here. Then I hit it with a UV light. Now, what we're going to do now is we're going to take some of this, put it on there, just to try and give that a little reinforcement. So I'm just going to go ahead and hit that with the UV light here for a little bit. Let it cure, and then put this thing back together and hope it turns on. Yeah, just UV light. That's 100% part of it. Let's make sure that this stuff actually set. Where are my tweezers? Yeah, that's set pretty well. All right. Let's go ahead and try and reassemble this thing. See if we get an improvement here. It's old 1080 Ti. Still one of the best video cards ever made. The performance per dollar on this card was insane. Yeah, we're about to find out right now. Because if this doesn't work, then I'm gonna call her up and be like, you need a new motherboard. Alright, I attempted. It did not work. 1, 2, 3. So right now I'm getting a different code. I'm getting OA, which I should put my speaker back on here and see what OA means. So we're getting this again with 2 sticks in there. Yeah, so it looks like there's more damage to this board than what I can see. Swap these memory. I feel like I should be getting something out of this at this point. I believe OA means posted. Let's find out. Like I said, I think it's actually working now. No, I think it is. But as it goes through the whole like circuit, start image return error. Yep, we got a black screen, but I'm wondering if I can just reset the BIOS and that'll fix the problem. Of course, the battery is directly under this socket. Set that down. Just gonna try and boot with the onboard stuff. So we still end up on OA, which is actually DA. All right, let's try the other CPU real quick. See if the other CPU gives me anything different. And we're gonna do this one raw with no heatsink, and we settle right back on that, unfortunately. So how do we fix this error? Let's just go ahead. There's a CMOS clear over here. So saying do this for 10 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right. See if that has any discernible effect. No. Let me see if I have some DDR. Is this DDR4 or 5? Which one was this? It's DDR4. Let me see if I have some DDR4 to toss in there just to test real quick. All right, so this is clean memory. I have tested. So this person needs a new motherboard. Unfortunate, but it's how the cookie crumbles. Let me see how much one of these are to replace. So new copies of this motherboard, quite expensive apparently. So, all right, let's get everything disconnected. Like I almost want to take this card and put it in another machine to see if there's something up with that. All right, so we got a post. We got a post out of this thing. Video card is working, confirmed. That's the other thing that I wanted to check. So all this kid needs is a new motherboard, it looks like. So here's what I'm gonna do. I am going to put this computer back together. And then I'm going to call his mother and be like, hey, I tested all of the components. You just need a new motherboard. Hey, thanks for watching that video. If you liked that video, make sure you hit the like button. If you want to see more videos like this, make sure you hit the subscribe button. And I stream daily on Twitch at twitch.tv/SpecVengeance. And yeah, if you want to learn more about my services, check out Bradenton PC Repair.com. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one.